Hello, crafty friends, and welcome to Flosstube Extra. We're going to do a WIP parade today. My name is Jessie. My pronouns are they, them, and she, her. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Good to see you. I have a lot of WIPs. Maybe not as WIPs, not as many WIPs as some folks, but I do have a fair number of WIPs. My goal last year in 2022 was net zero WIPs, so to basically end the year with the same number or fewer WIPs than I started the year with, and I don't think I quite accomplished that. I think I might have missed the mark slightly, which means that I have a minimum of 27 WIPs at this point, possibly a little more than 27. So we're gonna see as we go through here. I did a quick count, and I'm not sure if I'm correct. So I have a few WIPs. It's going to be a few minutes. Y'all know how I like to talk. So make sure you have something nice to sip on. Grab a snack if you need a snack, because we're going to be here for a minute. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to start from oldest WIP to newest WIPs. But what I liked as I was going through my WIP list is that I actually have really done a good job of paring down my old WIPs. So most of my WIPs, I only have one in fact, but all but one of my WIPs are from 2020 or more recently. So I've actually done a really great job of finishing off some of those older WIPs. And if you're interested in seeing what I actually finished during 2022, there's another video. I'll try to remember to specifically link it down here. But I already did a finish parade for 2022, so this is the 2023 WIP parade. We're going to see what I'm going into the year with, and yeah. So let's just get into it, right? So. Oldest WIP first, and this one is old. It's my oldest WIP, and it is really old. So I started this probably around 2005, sometime between 2003 and 2005. So this is a Buselic kit. And it's called Celestial something. It's Celestial Design. I can't remember. I always forget to actually write down what it's called from the kit. So and this is being stitched on the Ada that came with the kit, with the called for colors that came with the kit, and I'm still determined to finish this somehow sometime. But it's not my favorite thing to stitch on. There is quite a bit more of it that needs to be stitched. I would love, love, love to finish it this year and just get it off of the frame and be done with it. We will see. But yeah, I bought this for a friend of mine who really loves celestial motifs, the sun and the moon and that sort of thing. And I thought it would be really nice for her. And I just haven't. It's sat unloved for many, many years because I went for a long time without stitching at all. And then now that I've been stitching again, it's not my favorite thing to stitch. It's not my favorite thing to stitch. I think it is 14 count. That looks like 14 count to me. So if I would just focus on it a little bit, I could probably get it done in a reasonable amount of time. I just need to actually sit down and focus. I should probably do a 25/7 with this to just get it done. So maybe this year will be the year. We'll see. What are we doing? What are we doing? Get down. Loki is bugging Luna. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna be trying to put these back into the box as I pull them out. So the next one is the Linen and Threads 2020 Stitch Along. This was from Fox and Rabbit Designs. And this actually, this piece I decided to shelve last year. As much as I like the colors and how the design is turning out, I am not in love with the feel of the thread on this fabric. This is a 32 count from Mystic Fabrics, 32 count Lugana, and it's really tight. So actually stitching on this, though, the stitches look fantastic now that I'm looking at it up close. So I don't know, maybe I just need to get used to, and I'm sure I've had this conversation with myself before, maybe I just need to get used to the feel of it because it looks really good. It looks fantastic. And I really love the look of this thread. I keep thinking I'm going to restart it, but honestly, that's so much stitching. I've already done so much stitching. Okay, so now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I just need to stitch it. I just need to stitch it. So this might become unshelved this year because I'm looking at it and I'm loving the way it looks. I'm loving how the stitches are laying. It's making me very happy and filling me with joy. So so yeah, I guess that's coming off the shelf and it's gonna get stitched at some point this year. So again, I started this in January of 2020. That was a stitch along, the Friends and Family stitch along from Linen and Threads, Fox and Rabbit Designs. And this is a free stitch along. This chart is still available for you from their website. And the threads, let's see, I'm trying to remember all the details now because I forgot that there's stuff I'm supposed to talk about. So I said that this was a Mystic Fabric 32 count Lugana. Do not recall the name of the fabric. The tag's probably on here somewhere. Did I really take the tag off? That's so funny. Usually I don't. I usually leave the tags on until I'm completely done with it, but at one point, yeah, I've done something with the tag. Oh, you know what? It might be in the bag. The tag might be in the bag. At one point, I think Misty was not stapling the tags. Snert. So, 32 count Lugana, half yard, Snert is the colorway. I'm not sure if she's still making that. I haven't bought Mystic Fabrics in a while. The threads that I'm using are... so this is a Dying for cross stitch and Threadworks are what I'm using for this. So the Threadworks is this blue, or I'm sorry, this sort of orange blue. It's got a little bit of lavender mixed in there as well. And then this bright purple blue that I've used for the wings, that's Dying for cross stitch. And that is an unnamed color. I think this Threadworks color is Indian Summer. So that's what that is. I'll have to get that back on a frame and start stitching it again. Though part of the reason that I was thinking about restarting it is because part of me would like to do it so that it's very small, like do it 1/1. So maybe, but part of me also doesn't want to redo all that stitching that I've already done. Especially when I really like the way the stitches look. So that one's still a TBD as far as whether I'm going to continue it as it is. I think I will continue it as it is. I'm not likely to stitch it twice, so. Let's see. Okay, actually next is Animal Almanac. And I have a thread kind of running wild here. So this is Animal Almanac from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This was a stitch along from 2020, and you can see I got real far. I got super far. I think I only managed to finish the penguin in 2020. I did the fox in, I think, 2021. I'm not sure, or I started the fox in 2021. I'm not sure if I stitched on this in 2022. It's super cute, but it also has like an incredible amount of color changing. Let me hold it like this. So it's really difficult to color complete it, which makes me makes it less enjoyable for me to stitch, but it is super cute. I still have to finish the fox. So we shall see. I think what would be fun is if I actually took a little bit of time each month to start stitching. Oh, actually I started stitching March, so I must be done with the fox. I feel like there's got to be some back stitching that I haven't done on the fox. So I believe March is the frog. But it would be kind of fun if I took a little bit of time each month to just stitch on whichever motif is the one for that month. Maybe in 10 years I'll have it finished. Who knows? It's taking me quite a while. It's taking me quite a while. So, but yeah, so I started that on the 4th of January in 2020, and I'm still working on it. 2020 was the year of the stitch-alongs, as you might tell, because I have so many, so many leftover stitch-alongs. I did not do well with the stitching along. Okay, so this one, this next one is Peppermint Purple, again, a stitch-along from 2020. This is a year of black work, the 2020 stitch-along. I started this on the 11th of January. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 weeks into the year. So that's how much I did. I just find that I'm not super duper into black work. It looks beautiful. When it's finished, it looks beautiful. But I don't necessarily enjoy stitching black work. So this one was shelved last year, as was... Oh, I already said that, as was the linen and threads. This one I'm still not excited about. I'm still not really jumping for joy at the idea of stitching this one. This one I might decide to give away this year. Now, if I do decide to give it away, basically what you'll get is you'll get this. I can't give you the chart. The chart was free in 2020, so you would need to have the chart yourself, or you would need to get the new free stitch along this year and replace the blocks with this year's blocks. But yeah, and I don't know what I've done with the threads for this, so essentially you would just get this piece of fabric. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. If there is interest, then I will do a giveaway for this particular start that I had, because I'm not going to finish it. I would love it to go to somebody who does want to finish it. So this is a piece of 18 count Aida. It's opal. I don't know if you can tell. It's got a little bit of sparkle to it, and I was just working with the called for colors for 2020. So so that one is that. And let's see, this is yet another yet another 2020 stitch along. This one is Grimm's Fairy Tales. This is one of the last starts I had on Aida. I stopped using Aida not long after this. So I actually have a good bit of this one done. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. I got about 4 months of stories done on this one. And it's they're super cute. I don't really do Clouds Factory so much anymore because they do have HP designs. They are continuing to make HP designs, so I'm not super into them. But I do have this piece that obviously I've already started, and I had already purchased, I think, the 2021 stitch along. I never started it, but I had it. Why is that not? It's being annoying. Okay, I'm trying to... This one side wants to buckle in a weird way. So anyway, so I don't really buy new patterns from them because of the HP situation, but I have already purchased this one. I'd already purchased the 2021 stitch along, so I might go ahead and stitch that. But it's just super cute. It's super cute. And I'm mostly using the called fors. This does use some weeks, which I don't use anymore. But I already had them pulled for this. I bought them ages ago. So I'm going to continue using the called for colors on this. What I am doing though is, originally all of the little people characters were white. And you can see some of these, I stitched before I decided that it was important to start making things more inclusive, start making my stitches more inclusive. So I do still have some white characters on here, but I have changed Rapunzel and the prince there. They are people of color, and I plan on making lots more of the characters people of color. By the time I started thinking about doing that and having more diversity in my stitching, I had already done the princess and the frog, and I'd already done the 2 kids here, and I didn't want to make the witch a person of color because I didn't want it to be a derogatory thing. So so I waited until I got over here to the prince and Rapunzel, and I made them. I've changed their color, the hair color, and their facial colors. I changed the color of the horse too because I thought it was going to be too matchy-matchy when I change the color of the prints. But otherwise I'm using, oh, I also changed this cat. I think the cat, I can't remember what color the cat was, but I turned it into a black cat because I have black cats. So, so yeah, I've done some customizations on this. I think I will continue it. It's super cute. It does stitch up pretty fast when I get to it. Probably because it's on Ada. And even though it's on, I think this is 18. Pretty sure that's 18 count. So even though it's on 18 count Ada, it does stitch up super, super fast. So I'll probably work on that some more this year. And this is a piece, this is also a piece of Mystic hand-dyed fabric. I don't remember if it had a name, but I love it. I love that piece for this particular design. So next one is yet another stitch along. Ooh, what a thunk it. This is also from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This one is adorable. It is adorable. And this one is Chinese Zodiac. It was a stitch along that they started in April of 2020. And it is just, it's just the bee's knees. It's super cute. But again, with the color changing and you can't color complete easily, I think that's the real reason that I don't stick with this as much as I could. I think it's totally doable that I could finish this year. I think it's totally doable. If I actually take it out and work on it, I could totally finish it. But look how cute it is. Look at all the little animals. So because it's the Chinese Zodiac, of course, it's one animal for each year. So at the top here is the year of the rat, and we've got the ox, the tiger, the bunny. That's this year. This year is the year of the rabbit, the year of the dragon. This one is the snake, and then it goes on around. I can't remember what all the animals are, but yeah, it's so cute. It's so cute. And I'm stitching this on the called for fabric, which I think is Picture This plus Heartland, with all of the called for flosses, including this red treasure braid, I think. It's a metallic something or other. And I have the little needle minder that came with the stitch along. It's super cute. So yeah, that one is adorable. Everything is starting to stick together. Okay, this was a stitch along, but it wasn't like a big stitch along. This was a stitch along between me and Rachel and Heike. Heike has completely completed it. Rachel, I think, gave up. I'm not exactly sure. I think she sent her yoga corns to Heike to finish. I'm not 100% sure. They can correct me if I'm wrong. But of my 3 yoga corns, this is the one I did, and it still needs Kreinik backstitching. But she's mostly done. She's mostly finished. There are 2 more unicorns to go on here. This is a design from Little Room in the Attic, which is on Etsy, and she actually might be she might not be able to be open right now. If I remember correctly, she's based in Russia, so she may not be on Etsy right now. But her designs are super cute. Super cute. And then I have my So Xtra needle minder down there. But yeah, and this is a piece of Misty fabric. I'm trying to remember, it might be Unipoo. That would have made a lot of sense if it were Unipoo. But yeah, I have 2 more yoga corns to do on this. These are adorable when they're done. They're so worth the work that you put into them. But oh my gosh, are they work. So much work. But look at that. Look at that cute little yoga corn. You know what I might do with these? I think it would be super cute if I actually did them separately and did a flat fold finish and did a triptych or something like that, instead of putting them all on the same piece of fabric. I'm gonna have to think about that before I stitch the next one. Of course, before I stitch the next one, I have to finish all the back stitching on this one, and there's still a buttload of back stitching to go on this one. So let's see. I started this, yeah, Little Room in the Attic is the designer. I started this on my birthday in 2020. So this was one of my May new starts, and I did a whole bunch of May new starts in 2020. So yeah, that's that one. Putting them back in the box is not working so great right now because they're all trying to stick together. Okay. So this is another May new start. I believe it stands up this way. This is an Ink Circles design, and this is called For de Lis. So it's a play on fleur-de-lis. And this I have been stitching since May 31st of 2020. It was intended to be an anniversary gift for some friends of ours in 2020. It was meant to be finished for them for their October anniversary in 2020. I still haven't finished it. I still haven't finished it. It's getting closer, so I still have the rest of this motif and a motif that matches this one on the other side, and then there are diagonal motifs. You can see this one is coming out here. So there's diagonals that come out as well. So I have a good bit of stitching left to do on this. If I sat down and really stuck with it, this wouldn't take too long. I'm still determined to finish it. I'm determined to finish it. And then fully finish it and give it to our friends eventually. Maybe I can actually get it done by October this year, 2023. Only 3 years after I started it. We shall see. So yes, this is, I said it was ink circles. The fabric is, I didn't write down any of that information. I believe this is a Dying for Cross Stitch. I don't know if she named it. But it's a deep dark purple 32 count linen from Dying for Cross Stitch. And the flosses I'm using are limited edition silks from Hand Dye by Rolanda. And they are, there's actually 2 colors. One is really gold, the other one's a little bit bronze. So these diagonals will be in this kind of darker, sort of bronzy color. And then the main motif is in that gold. So, and number 9 is Dark Queen of the Sea, my headless glorious queen. I have not stitched on her in approximately an age. I had to have stitched on her sometime last year, but I honestly couldn't recall when I did. I have her entire torso. I have the fishes. I believe I did all the back stitching and stuff. It's time to move the Q-snap. And I think part of the reason, well, I know part of the reason that I decided to hold off is because I actually want to kind of reconfigure how she was originally designed for her kind of hip area to go down into the tentacles. So I want to, for me personally, an octopus queen shouldn't really have a mermaid silhouette, and that's kind of how she was designed, was to be very, very thin, and then the tentacles kind of come out of nowhere and blossom out. But I really want her to be thicker on the bottom, and for that to be a more anatomically accurate sort of transition from her torso into her tentacles. So that's part of the reason that I haven't worked on her anymore, because before I moved on, I wanted to redesign this section down here and then do that. So I'll probably, once I get that done, I'll come down and I'll start working on her tentacles, and then I'll probably save the top of her for last, because this stitching down here is really intense. And then her face is really, really gorgeous. So I don't want to smush up the stitches once I go to all that trouble to put her face in. Probably I'm going to transfer this to a scroll frame once I get to actually stitching her again, because it's going to be way, way easier. Because there's all this stuff that has to go on all the sides and everything, and the Q-snap is just, it's just not. So I'll either widen the Q-snap, or I'll put her on a scroll frame, and I'll work on her that way. She is stitched on a piece of 28 count Opal Lugana that I dyed myself. This, excuse me, was my very first, my very first big piece of fabric that I dyed specifically for a specific design, that I dyed just for a specific design, and it came out just like I wanted it to, and it's so gorgeous, and I love it. And this was sort of what catapulted me into hand dyeing fabric and selling it, because this turned out so well, and I was told so often that people really, really loved this, that I was like, okay, well, maybe this is a thing. Maybe this is a thing that I can do. So this is Autumn Lane Stitchery. I don't think I said that. Dark Queen of the Sea. They're now working on a Dark Queen of the Earth, which I haven't gotten into because I need to finish this gloriousness before I can do any other Dark Queens. I started this in September 29th, 2020, which was right at the tail end of the first month of the stitch along. The stitch along ran from, I think, September 2020 to September 2021. And I am very far behind, as you might be able to tell. So, and then WIP number 10. This is a special one. So this lives in my special swan bag, so you might know what's coming. I made this bag myself. I got this fabric from Spoonflower. It was designed to be a skirt. You can actually make a skirt out of this particular fabric. You can buy a yard of it and turn it into like a small person skirt. I think it's meant for kids, so like a really small person skirt, but I have turned it into a bag. I love this fabric so much. It's so cute. And the inside is the other part of the fabric. So this design is, yes, that's straight up. So this is Someone We Love. And what it says is, because someone we love is in heaven, there's a little bit of heaven in our home. So this is a piece that I stitch on special days. I realized I'm like in the shadow. This is a piece that I stitch on special days of the year. So I generally bring it out on my mom's birthday, my stepdad's birthday, their anniversary, my dad's birthday, and special dates like that, because I generally like to stitch on this while I am thinking of the people that I love that I have lost. So this is not something I usually ever put into WIP Go or anything like that, because the actual working on this is just as much a part of it as having a finished product. So I'm not concerned with how quickly I finish it. I just take it out on special days when I want to think about them. I also take it out just in general when I want to think about them, when I want to remember them fondly. So it's a piece that I work on just intermittently whenever the mood strikes me. And I've got two very special needle minders. So this one was a gift from Rachel Raycraft. She gave me that one specifically for this piece, and I bought this other swan from Top Knot Stitcher Shop. Super cute. So yeah, that's a very special piece. And I started this, I got this as a full kit. The design is from Glendon Place, and I got it as a full kit. It came with the Dinky Dye silks, the fabric, which is Picture This Plus 32 count linen, I believe. I can't remember the color, and the beads. So it came with all the things, and that's really, really awesome. And that's actually a chart and kit that I can still get. So if anybody's interested in working on that piece, let me know. I can get you all the bits and pieces, except for the Picture This Plus fabric. Picture This Plus fabric is really difficult to come by, but I can get you all the other stuff if that's something that you're looking for. So I started this piece on October 1st, 2020. In fact, I took it to the beach with me, and I stitched it for, actually, maybe I didn't take it to the beach. I know I stitched it for my mom's birthday. I started it for Mom's birthday, which was, her birthday was on the 8th, is on the 8th of October. Wow, my brain just went bloop. But yeah, so I started that for her in memory of her on October 1st, 2020. So that is that. This is, and I have a blazing start on this one. This is WIP number 11. This is Drama Llama Sampler. Here is my start. I started this in November, on November 3rd, which I think was election day. I started this on November 3rd, 2020. And that's where we are. That's where we are. I do have my Be a Nice Human needle minder on there, because this is my very political minded piece. So Drama Llama is from Michelle, Bendy Stitchy Designs. And I can't remember exactly what it says, something about stopping the patriarchy, which I am here for. And I'm actually going to be altering it so that, because at the top, I think at the top it has like a sampler alphabet, and then lower down it says, oh, we don't have time for drama, we have to deal with the patriarchy. I forget. I don't have the chart with me right here. Anyway, Michelle can tell you what it says. But the point is that it's got a sampler alphabet on one portion of it, and then it's got the text on the other portion. And I'm actually going to turn the sampler alphabet into a quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So I'm gonna set that up as I go through there. But I actually have to get some more work in. This is a piece of Jobelin, 32 count Jobelin. I'm blanking on the name, but it's from Be Stitch Me. And the threads here are Dying for Cross Stitch. I'm going to have 2 different colors, and I can't remember what the colors names are, but it's 2 different colors of Dying for Cross Stitch variegated threads. So that's going to be fabulous when I actually get some stitching on it. Let's see, number 12. Okay, number 12 is the bag that I have sitting here that was out of order. Number 12 is literally the last stitch along I started in 2020. This is Crowned Winter. So this came from a box from Forbidden Fiber Co. The design is from Michelle again, Bendy Stitchy Designs. Oh, upside down. The design is from Michelle Garrett, Bendy Stitchy Designs. And the box and flosses were put out by Forbidden Fiber Co. Look how pretty. Look how pretty. And I love the little needle minder. I can't remember if the needle minder came out of the box or if I got that from an Evertote something or other. Excuse me. But this is a fantastic... that border is just giving me life. I did start the house. I'm not super crazy about the house. I love the quote that's in this design, and then urn. The urn and the border are like just life. And what I've been thinking, because this had been a shelved WIP, because as much as I love that border, I'm not super in love with the rest of the design. So what I'm thinking is that this may actually become my sampler. And I will pick motifs from other samplers that I love. Pardon, I'm going to cough. Sorry about that. I used a perfumey soap earlier on my hands, like a perfumey hand soap. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting my hands close to my face that's making me cough, or whether these fabrics have some fabric softener. Something is getting to me, and it's awful. Hold on just one more second, because Loki is getting into trouble. So yeah, I'm thinking of turning this into a sampler, which is an idea that Michelle herself came up with. Just picking motifs from larger designs that I either don't have time to stitch the full design, or maybe that little motif is the thing that I really love about the design. So that kind of thing. I think that's what I'm going to do with this, because I love what I have. I absolutely don't want to pick that out or get rid of it. I love that border. That border is just everything. But I just don't think I want to do the rest of the chart, which is nothing against Michelle. But yeah, I think I'm gonna find other things to put on this piece. So it will come off the shelf once I decide on some different things that I'm gonna add to that. And I'm gonna use probably the flosses that came with it, because they're really, really good. Excuse me. So that was number 12. Yes, 12 was Crowned Winter. Let's see. 13. Interestingly enough, 13 is Pandemic. That seems appropriate. So this is the Long Dog Sampler Pandemic. There are a few different Pandemic charts. So this is from Long Dog Samplers. And I am doing this in 4 different variegated threads. I started this in, Crowned Winter I started on the 4th of December. It was a daily stitch along, and I only got that far. Pandemic I started on the 31st of 2020. Literally on the last day of the beginning of the pandemic year, or on the beginning year of the pandemic, I should say. So I'm actually using 4 different variegated flosses for this. So we have a darker purple, a darker cooler purple on the outside. We have this more wine colored purple on the inside. We have the rainbow for the burbs. All the burbs are going to be rainbow on this chart. And then there's another pinky, winey kind of color that I'll be using as well. These are, let's see, the rainbow is Silks for You. The other three variegated threads, I don't think you can. I think the other pinky color is going to go in these hearts. I don't think I've gotten there yet. So I don't think that third variegated is in there yet. But all three of those variegateds, the not rainbow variegateds, those are all from Dying for Cross Stitch. So this one is super fun. I always love stitching on this. I just haven't taken it out in a while. But I love how it looks. I love playing around with the colors and things like that. And I have my, this is fine, dog sitting in the burning room needle minder because of course. So yeah, and you can tell this is going to be massive. So I think this is probably a half yard of fabric, and I just have it bundled all up. I have not gotten even close to a page finish on this, I don't think. I have a long way to go. Long way. So that is number 13. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna wrangle up and keep these organized as I'm going. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're on to number 14. So Pandemic was my last start of 2020. This is my first start of 2021. This is Gamer Nouveau. You can see the artwork on the needle minder. That's what she's gonna look like eventually. And this is what I have. This is a few thousand stitches. It doesn't look like a few thousand stitches, but it is. I don't actually recall where I am on this. I feel like it's got to be somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000 stitches. Yeah. So that's a full coverage, and she's a big lady. She's a big lady. She is going to be all kinds of large. And a lot of this top portion is just going to be these colors. There's just not a lot going on there. So I haven't stitched her in quite a while. So the design or the artwork itself for Gamer Nouveau is from Medusa Dollmaker. She's one of my favorite artists. The kit that I purchased, the cross stitch design was done by Gecko Rouge out of the UK. And I actually swapped out the fabric they gave me. They gave me the pink gridded fabric, which is gridded on a 20 by 20 square and is really stiff. And I traded that out for the gray gridded. I think this is Magic Grid, Easy Grid. I can't remember which is which. But this has the gray grid, and the gray grids are only 10 by 10. And the fabric is much softer. It's a Lugana, essentially. It's an even weave fabric. And I really prefer it to the pink gridded fabric. So yeah, she's not going to be finished anytime soon. I'll be lucky if I finish her in my lifetime, I think. She's just massive. She's got like 200,000 stitches. Just a few. She's a biggin'. She's a big lady. Big, gorgeous lady. Okay, so that was 14. Number 15 is Blackbird Fractor, which was a one of my first February starts. Actually, no. Because I did February. No, I started February in 2021, I think. Yes. Because I didn't stitch any burbs in 2020. I was too busy doing stitch-alongs. So, so 2021 is when I did my first February starts. And, I finished a lot of them, but I still have Blackbird Fractor. So is that the only one that's in here? I think it is. So Blackbird Fractor is from, I think it goes this way. Wow, that's some kind of special. I can't even remember which way it goes. Yes, okay. Goodness gracious. I wonder if I actually have the picture of the chart in here for you to see. Not easily. Okay. So this is straight up and down. That's my blazing start. As Michelle would say, it's my blazing start on Blackbird Fractor. Designed by Plum Street Samplers. This was the first chart that wasn't a like kit chart that I fell in love with. So up until about this point in 2020, I hadn't really been aware of cross stitch designers outside of buying kits like from Busela dimensions and things like that. So I had not been aware of them. I started to become aware of them when I discovered Flosstube, and this was one of the first designs that I fell in love with. Let me see if I can just show you this chart, because it's I don't want to show you any of the actual design. So that is Blackbird Fractor. And I'm a huge fan of fractor motifs in general. I just love the way they look. And so it was the first piece that I fell in love with that was not one of the types of designs that I knew, that was from a cross-stitch designer instead of a cross-stitch kit. And I was super excited to begin it. And then and then I started to think about the kind of designers I was supporting, the kind of flosses I was using and things like that, and I got a little bit less enamored of it because of the associations I had with it. I think at this point I have made my peace with certain things, so I think I'm going to go back to this and try to fall in love with it again, because I do still love design. It does use some weeks that I don't use anymore. I just don't use Weeks Dye Works. But again, I purchased these years ago. There's no reason not to use them since I already purchased them. So I will use the called for colors as I had intended, because I already purchased them anyway. This fabric is an even weave. I believe probably from Hand Dye by Rolanda. And I think the chart uses a combination of DMC, Weeks Dye Works, maybe some Color and Cotton, not Color and Cotton, Classic Colorworks. So I'll be doing that in the called for, because I already own them, and I might as well. Because what else am I going to do with them? So I'm just not going to buy anything new from that particular thread dyer. So that was number 15, is Blackbird Fractor. 16 is Dreaming Girl. This is a Barbara Anna, and she's gorgeous. I did a skin and hair conversion, and actually I did, the hair might actually be close to, or I can't remember, I think I did a hair conversion. I know I did a skin conversion. I changed the skin color, so she's got a little bit more of an olive tone. I may have changed the hair slightly to go more along the lines of the skin tone that I chose, and I definitely changed the shirt. I turned it into a purple shirt so that she would be more representative of me and my, like my particular, what am I trying to say? Not my appearance necessarily, but just kind of just more representative for me. So she's less pale. She's still redheaded. She's wearing purple because I like it. And I had the thought, and I'm not sure if I'm still going to do it or if I'm just going to stitch it as it was charted. When Michelle at Bendy Stitchy Designs, when she stitched this, she actually turned hers into a representation of the symbol of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls and Two-Spirit people. So she actually did the red handprint over the character's face, over the girl's face, to kind of highlight the difficulties, the challenges, the fact that difficulties and challenges is way understating it, but to highlight the fact that Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people go missing and are the victims of harm far, far more frequently than other groups of people. And so she sort of redesigned it, the whole thing. So she made her woman an Indigenous woman. She gave her the red handprint for the missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. And then she changed a lot of the motifs over here that were like masted sailing ships, very colonial types of motifs. She changed them to kind of remove that because it didn't make sense to have an Indigenous woman and then glorify the colonial motifs. And so because she did that, I wondered if I wanted to still do the masted ships. And I might still do them because as much as I love her piece and I love the message behind her piece and I want to emulate that and push that forward, I didn't design mine to be an Indigenous woman, so there's not quite the same dissonance there for my piece. But it's part of why I haven't gone back to Stitchers, because I don't know where I want to go with her. So I thought, because I have a lot of Irish heritage, I'm significantly excuse me, according to my DNA, I'm like 90 something percent, from Scotland, Ireland, and a little bit of the UK. So that's a lot of my heritage. So I thought about trying to find some ships and motifs and things that were more indicative of Irish culture and Irish history, because that would fit with me and my culture and my heritage. I just haven't done the research to do that. So let's see. I have stitched her on. I think this is Mystic Fabrics Dreamy. I want to say it's a 32 count Lugana. I remember that the stitching is really tight, so it's going to be a 32 count Lugana. And mostly the called for threads. I say mostly, but I haven't actually stitched anything that was the called for threads as far as I remember. The hair might be the called for colors, but I know I changed up all the rest of it. But the rest of it I planned on stitching in the called for colors. So that is Dreaming Girl from Barbara Anna, which was a stitch along in 2021. I started her the 4th of February in 2021. I started Blackbird Fractor on the 2nd of February. So after Dreaming Girl, I didn't start anything for a while, partly because I got really stuck into Dreaming Girl, and I was determined to finish her hair and everything. And then once I did that, I was kind of like, oh, I'm good. So the next piece I started in May, and this is, again, Blazing Start. This is Ink Circles Small Burbs. And I didn't get very far on this because I ended up not really liking my choices here. The fabric is like a grab bag fabric. And it's really tight weave. It's a 32 count even weave, I'm pretty sure. And I thought these colors were going to go well on it, but they don't really pop like I wanted them to. So I stitched on it a little bit, and then the more I thought about it, the less happy I was. I think I'd like to keep these thread colors and just do it on a different piece of fabric. So chances are I will not go back to this particular piece. I will probably pick a new piece of fabric and start it over, and we'll see where we go from there. So this one's kind of shelved for right now. Which is incidentally why it's in an empty bag. I don't even know where I put the threads. I put the threads somewhere. So hopefully I actually marked them with what I was planning on doing with them. But I have no idea. I have no idea where those might be right now. And we're back with piece number 18. WIP number 18. My hair is getting all... Okay. We're more than halfway through. Let's take a breath. I told you I was going to be a minute. Okay, so this is number 18. This is Irises. Let's see, Small Burbs I started on May 9th, by the way. Irises I started on May 12th of 2021. And this is a piece by a European designer who I later discovered was in one of those like design houses that it's really unclear who's actually designing what. So I don't know whose artwork it actually is, but it is a beautiful, gorgeous piece. It's actually got 2 irises, and I'm not that far from finishing this, but I haven't been able to. I haven't really felt drawn to go back and finish it, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. This is a piece of 32 count Opal Lugana that I got from the 2021 fabric club from Fortnite Fabrics. I was in the expensive rich club that year, and I am using the called for DMCs, and it's just really fabulous. There's going to be a buttload of backstitching because it's one of those that looks like a watercolor painting with a sketch over top. It's going to be gorgeous, but it is going to be so much work. But yeah, I can't wait. I love irises. Irises hold a very special place in my heart. As I said, my mom's name was Iris. They're my favorite. And this is a gorgeous piece. I feel like every time I pick up, I'm saying this a lot, which is probably a good thing. I wasn't sure how much love I still had for some of these pieces. And as much as I haven't wanted to go back and stitch it, I'm like, but it wouldn't take much to finish that. It really wouldn't take, I mean, it's going to take time, but I've already stitched so much on it. Like I want to go back and finish that. So I might pick this back up. I like the idea of doing flowers in May. So I might work on this in May. So that is number 18. Number 19. Yet another blazing start. 19 is Long I Have Waited. So this is artwork. Look at that. I don't think that's even 1,000 stitches. I think that's, no, that might be 1,000, maybe. I don't know. It's maybe a couple hundred stitches. I got just enough to say that I started. It's really, I mean, you can't even tell. You can't even tell what it's going to be. Anyway, this design is Long I Have Waited. The artwork is by Christina Grandjean. I got this from Heaven and Earth Designs, the chart from Heaven and Earth Designs, and I'm using the called for DMC. And as you can see, I've gotten way into it. Way into it. But this is a gorgeous dragon. I love this piece of artwork for a really long time. And I'm really excited at some point to work on it so that it becomes a dragon eventually. And I have my little bisexual dragon needle minder on the bottom there. Because dragons. Let's see. Number 20 is Relentless. This is one of my favorite pieces. One of my absolute favorite pieces. I worked on this a whole lot last year. I did pretty much all of my pride stitching on this piece specifically. So this is from Ink Circles. Tracy Horner at Ink Circles. She designed this, excuse me, especially as a sort of pride design. If you look closely, you can see all kinds of gender symbols here. So we've got like male and female and all different things happening all throughout. They're more obvious once you get more to the center, but just lots and lots of different combinations of gender symbols, intermixed and intertwined and all kinds of stuff. And it's just fabulous. I love it. And I've stitched this in, I converted it to Dinky Dyes, and I love the way those colors are working together. So she originally designed it with DMC, and I converted those DMCs to Dinky Dyes, and I love them. I love them. And this is a piece of fabric from Dying for Cross Stitch, 32 count linen from Dying for Cross Stitch. It's got a little bit of a rainbow thing happening. I thought that was pretty appropriate. I've got my Toast needle minder. This is from my friend Kel. This is Toast, their cat. Their cat is adorable, and he's a rescue who was originally a trap, neuter, release kitty. That's why he's got his ear tipped like that. But yeah, they did needle minders for Toast last year, and they're just adorable. And if you want your own Toast needle minder, I think Kel still has them. Trying to remember Kel's Etsy. I'll try to remember to link Kel's Etsy down here so that you can go see if they still have some Toast needle minders, if you would like a Toast needle minder. Okay. These two Grogu needle minders I think I got from let's see, they're Wild Rainbow Co. now. Deb at Wild Rainbow Co. I can't remember what her business was called before she rebranded, but she's Wild Rainbow Co. now. I don't think she does needle minders so much anymore. She was like Nerdy Needles or Nerdy something like that. But anyway, she's Wild Rainbow Co. now. And I got those before she rebranded and kind of went a different direction. She now makes these adorable, just because she now makes these adorable little nuggets. Look at these. Look at how happy he is. Um, these are adorable. Look at them. Look at them. I just ordered a couple of more. She just did a drop on Saturday. So if you also find these adorable, go to her Etsy shop, Wild Rainbow Co. On Etsy and get yourself some nuggets for your home because they're adorable. Anyway, so the point is, this is relentless and I love it. And it's my, like, until I finish it, it's like my favorite Pride go-to piece. I like to stitch this all year round because, you know, Pride 365 slash, what is the one that Dee says? Oh, I say, queer all year, and Dee says Pride 365. So yeah, we're here all year and we're still queer. So, so just FYI. Let's see. So yeah, that was a Pride start for 2021. This was another Pride start for 2021. Which way is, this way is up. Okay. This is start number 21, I think. Yes, Twisted Rainbow Sampler. This is from Northern Expressions Needlework, using their Dinky Dyes conversion. It is a fantastic Dinky Dyes rainbow. I love it so much. And I'm doing the version that includes cross stitches and specialty stitches, which is so fun. So fun. I love it so much. I need to get back to this. Gorgeous. And I have my, what is her name? Unicorn Princess? She's not Unicorn Princess. What is she? Oh, I'm blanking and it's making me annoyed. What is on my cup? Ew, there's stuff on my cup. Gross. Sorry. Anyway, this is Twisted Rainbow, and it's really gorgeous. I'm stitching this on a 32 count piece of, it's Bestitch Me, and I'm blanking on the color name. I don't have it written down. I want to say it's Through the Stones, or something similar. Yeah, but it's 32 count linen from Bestitch Me. And I love it. It's very nice. And I think that was, is this the last one from 2021? It is. This is the last one from 2021. So I started this one in July of 2021, and then I didn't have any new starts until December. And the one new start I had in December, I finished. I finished last year. So now we're on to 2022 new starts. So a lot of the stuff that I started in 2021, I finished in 2021. Same with 2022, as it turns out. So this is my first new start of 2022. This is Walk Fast by Lindy Stitches. As you can see, I have a lot stitched on it already. And this, I ended up, this was not originally going to be my New Year New Start, but it became my New Year New Start because, unfortunately, Betty White passed on December 31st, I believe, 2021. It was either December 31st, 2021, or it was, it must have been December 31st. Anyway, she passed right before the new year, and this is a chart from Lindy Stitches. It says, "It's like the old Scandinavian saying, you can lead a herring to water, but you have to walk real fast or he'll die." Which is a quote from Rose Nyland of from Golden Girls, which was, of course, Betty White's character on Golden Girls. She played Rose Nyland, one of her most memorable roles. Betty White did so much more than that. She was really a phenomenal human being, a humanitarian and an animal lover, and a champion for animals everywhere. She was a fantastic person, and it was very sad that she passed away. We really thought Betty was going to outlive us all, and we unfortunately lost her right at the beginning of 2022. So that was very sad. And a bunch of us decided to stitch this in honor of her. And this is still my Betty White piece. This will always be my Betty White piece, to think of her and remember her fondly. So I might actually pull this out. I need to stitch on something with words for Stitch for Pride. So I might pull this out and stitch on it, because obviously it has words. It has words. This is a piece of 32 count linen. I believe it's 32 count. And it's like a polka dotted linen. I forget. I got this out of a box and I can't remember what box. But I just thought it was really cute for this particular design. And I did a conversion into color and cotton for this. So I did a full conversion. The called for were actually Classic Colorworks, but I didn't have Classic Colorworks. I had Color and Cotton. So I did a full conversion, and as I did the conversion, I actually brightened up the colors a lot. So I have my full conversion written down, but you don't need all that information. And I have a needle minder that I made from a TLT cup Koalified. Kevin the Koalified Koala. So that is number 22. 23. 23 is one of my favorite pieces ever. I love this piece so much. I love it, love it, love it. This is Trans Pride Tapestry. So this was my introduction to Dee of Dee's 20 Stitches and Kari of Uncanny Kari. So this was my first introduction to either of them. Dee popped up out of nowhere on my Instagram with this picture of this gorgeous, fabulous unicorn in the Trans Pride colors. And I was like, I don't know who you are or what this is, but I need this in my life. I need all of it in my life right now. And I shared it to everybody I could think of. And shortly after that, Dee and I started talking, and it has been a fantastic ride ever since. I am so very happy that Dee and Kari decided to do this. They decided to enter the world of cross-stitching and bring us these fantabulous designs that they've been bringing us. So a lot of Dee's charts are designed off of artwork by Kari. And it's a phenomenal duo. They're a phenomenal duo. I can't say any more about them, because they're just fantastic. I love them both. They're awesome human beings. They're fantastic creative people, and this was the very first design that I got to see from the two of them, and it's so awesome. I am stitching this on. This is a 32 count linen from Dying for Cross Stitch. I can't remember what it's called, but it's actually a fade. So it goes from this like dark purple to this more magenta pink at the bottom. I think it's Purple Haze, and I think you can still buy this from Kathy Davidson at Dying for Cross Stitch. I think she just still does this colorway, but it's gorgeous. I chose that fabric for my personal identity, because I identify as bisexual. So I have the purple behind. I'm also a non-binary person, so the whole trans pride thing works there as well. And I'm using the Ymir, the Almond M&M's silk conversion from Ymir. The conversion was actually done by Kim of Crafty Teacher DIYs. She did the conversion from the original called for to Ymir silks, which is fantastic. I love it. These silks are gorgeous to work with, and it looks so good. It's so fun to stitch. But I haven't stitched her for a while. So Trinkets is my unicorn. That's what her name is. The unicorn that will eventually appear in this design. And I can't wait to get to her. I have some really fun plans. I also have my Dee and Kari needle minder, a luxury if you can afford. So yeah, it's one of my favorite pieces ever. I love this piece. It's awesome. So that is number 23. Number 24 is an interesting one. So number 24 is Creepy Cryptids, which is a witchy stitcher design. She originally designed it as all one piece, like 18 or 20 cryptids, all in one big frame, and it was a stitch along. Let's see. Let me back up a second. So Walk Fast I started on January 1st, 2022. That was my New Year, New Start. Trans Pride Tapestry I started on the 2nd of January, and that was my original New Year, New Start that got pushed back a day because of Betty White. I started this on the 13th. Creepy Cryptids I started on the 13th of January as dark 13 stitching, because I decided I'd stitch these on dark 13. So it was originally a stitch along of a big piece. I decided that rather stitching them all together in one piece, I'm going to stitch them all the creepy cryptids individually in little squares and put them together as a book, eventually someday. To date, this is my 4th creepy cryptid. So I have already done, I believe it's my 4th one. Maybe it's only my 3rd one. Anyway, I finished at least 2, possibly 3 other creepy cryptids. And this is the last one I started, which is the Nightcrawler. And I've been really missing my dark 13 stitching because I keep forgetting the 13th. So dark 13 is when you stitch creepy spoopy things on the 13th of the month, and if there is one, also on the 31st of the month. And I've missed out on a lot of dark 13 stitching for lots of different reasons. So yeah, I'm only on Nightcrawler. This might be the 3rd one because I did, what was the first one? I forgot I have a whole list of them. How did I forget that? Okay, I have the whole list right here. Let me just get to the page. Okay, so I did Mothman first, Moth Person. I did Moth Person. And then I skipped ahead and I did the Cone of Doom because the Cone of Doom was just really fun. And now I'm doing Nightcrawler. So this is the 3rd. This is the 3rd of the however many. Looks like 19 total creepy cryptids because there were some bonuses for being in the stitch along. So yeah, so that's that. I'm stitching all of these on 40 count country linen. I think that's what this is called. Did I write it down? Country mocha. So 40 count Newcastle linen, country mocha is the color. And yeah, and the called for DMCs. And eventually those will be a little book. Someday. Okay, so that was 24. And 25. This is another one of my favorites. This was a February new start for 2022. This is Schnabelperchten. So I've talked about Schnabelperchten a lot. Pardon. This is designed by Thread Sewer, and it is a fantabulous design. You need to go check out her Etsy shop. I'm stitching this on 28 count Lugana from Color and Cotton. It's called Succulent. And I am using one variegated floss from Dying for Cross Stitch. It's this purple blue variegated. And this is a design that uses a lot of negative space to create the actual motifs. So you're actually stitching the negative space, you're stitching the space behind the motifs instead of stitching the motifs themselves, which is interesting for me. It breaks my brain a little bit, but I love stitching on this. I really do. And funny story, I originally started Schnabelperchten, I think actually like this. I originally started it like this before I realized that I had been stitching with the fabric in the wrong orientation, so it wasn't going to be wide enough for the design. So I had to make a change. Rather than pick out all of my stitches, what I decided to do was just shift the orientation and start stitching in a different direction. So if you look closely, and you can really only see it if you look very closely, the stitches in some of the outlining here are actually in a different direction than the rest of the stitches. Because I decided not to unpick them. I just shifted the fabric around. I shifted the Q-snap so that I was stitching in the correct orientation. So and I thought it went well with the overall idea of Schnabelperchten. So Schnabelperchten are based off of this European folklore where this witch or group of witches essentially come to your house around, I want to say it's January 5th, Epiphany, and they check to see how clean your house is to make sure that you've tidied up after the holidays and everything. And if you haven't tidied up, they use these great big scissors to cut open your stomach, and then they scoop and sweep all of the dust and dirt and mess into your guts. So super happy fun times, just like a lot of European myths, right? A lot of European folklore. But it's just, I can't even. And the whole folklore is included with this design. I don't have it easy to hand right now, but it's just amazing. Or actually, maybe I do have it. Let me see. Oh, I do. Okay. The Schnabelperchten are unique to the Ruhr Valley region of Austria. Every year on January 5th, the eve of Epiphany, they visit people's homes while giving their trademark call. You'd best hope that you have completed all your housework in preparation for this night, as they come to check to see that everything is tidy. Legend says that those with untidy homes have their bellies cut open with giant scissors and dust and dirt swept inside. Folk traditions of costumed visits and disguise over the holiday season are found in many cultures, such as Mari Lwyd from South Wales, which is that skeletal horse. The mummers of Newfoundland, Ireland, and the UK, as well as broader regional variations of Perchten, Frau Perchte, across the Alpine regions of Germany and Austria. No doubt there are many more. So I love that she included all that folklore. And it's just the cutest. It's the cutest thing that will come and cut open your belly. Anyway, I have a weird sense of humor. But yeah, that's one of my favorites. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, let me get y'all in order. I only have, let's see. Actually, I have like 4 more from 2022. Okay, so Schnabelperchte was number 25. 26 is Peruvian cats. Boom. So this is a design from Ana Guayo. I think maybe I took that off on purpose. Okay, so this is from Ana Guayo. Peruvian Flair is her Etsy shop. And this is, so this is called Peruvian Cats. There is a companion pattern that is called Cat's Reflection. But this is Peruvian Cats. I'm stitching this on 40 count Bestitch Me. I want to say that this is Granite is the color. And I am stitching it with Bejewel, which is a Dying for Cross Stitch fantabulous variegated floss. Oh my gosh. I use this color for all the things. It's just fabulous. I especially love it on the cats. Look how cute the cats are. Well, I have a cat and a half, but so I started this in April, on April 18th of 2022. And it's just so cute. That border stitches up so fast. So fast. I had a couple of false starts with this one, but yeah, I got her done. And then, let's see. I don't have... Oh, actually, no. This one comes next. Then, on number 27 is The Pilgrim, which I started on July 10th. So this was an already started WIP that was gifted to me by Michelle, Bendy Stitchy Designs. She had started it and fell out of love with it and decided to give it away. And I said, yes, please, I would like to finish that. So she gave that to me, and I started it in July last year, and is now officially our Long Dog sampler. So it's mine and Michelle's now. And she stitched all the really square pieces down there, and I stitched the more organic shapes starting right here and kind of going down this way. So the deer and the funky flower motifs and the little mouse and all that sort of stuff. And I have my Grogu needle minder because it makes me think of Michelle. But yeah, so this is our Long Dog sampler. It's on a piece of 40 count something. 40 count linen. The design is from Long Dog Samplers, The Pilgrim. And I forget what this thread is. It might be color and cotton. But Michelle bought like all of it. And she sent me all of it. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's fabulous. Fabulous. I did a lot of stitching on that. Okay. And now the next two, I don't remember exactly when, well, the next one I don't remember when I started. So the next one is Sailor's Delight. This is number 28. This is a D and Kari. Or actually, this might be, I don't think Kari did the artwork. I think D did this one straight up. So this is a D's 20 Stitches design. This is Sailor's Delight. And this is fabulous. It's our trans merman. You can't tell yet because I haven't put his top surgery scars on there, but he is a trans merman and he's fabulous. He's super gay and it's super awesome. And Adam is home. Hold on. I've been filming so long that Adam came home. So this is from D's 20 Stitches. It's Sailor's Delight. I started this around the beginning of October. My first post on Instagram. I didn't write down when I actually started this, but my first post about it on Instagram was on October 8th. So I started it around the 1st, I guess, sometime between the 1st and the 8th. And I love this. I love this trans merman. He is so handsome. He's so cute. So I'm stitching this in a combination of color and cotton threads, as well as this is that Dying for Cross Stitch Bejewel, because oh my gosh, I love it. Can you see? Can you see? I'm gonna have to backstitch a little bit around his tail to make sure that it's differentiated enough from the rock and the water that's beneath him. But yeah, it's fabulous. He's fabulous. It's all fabulous. This is the other half of that 40 count granite that I'm using for the Peruvian cats. And again, that's that same Bejewel rainbow floss that I'm using on Peruvian cats because I love it so much. I love it so much. So yeah, he's gorgeous. He's gorgeous. I had actually kind of expected to finish him last year, but things just got out of hand. And I didn't do a lot of stitching in the last part of the year. But he is fabulous. So he was actually my... he wasn't my last new start of 2020 or 2022. I think my actual last new start was my model stitch for the bird box. But he was my last new start that is still a WIP for this year. No, he wasn't. Second to last. I'm lying. I'm lying to you. This was my very last new start, and for a WIP that is continuing into 2022. This is the Modern Folk Embroidery countdown sampler for the Evertote Holiday Countdown Box from 2022. It's a lot of words. It was meant to be stitched a little bit each day. It was released as a portion of the pattern each day. And this is how far I got. I got through part of day one. Like I said, things got out of hand at the end of the year. So yeah, this was all of it that I got done, but it's really pretty. It's very pretty, and I do intend to go back to it. I'm gonna wait for a month that has 31 days. I might start this again in March, maybe, and actually try to do it day by day and see if we can if I can get through it. So, so this is officially the last WIP of 2022. The very last WIP, and this is number 29. So I ended 2022 with 29 WIPs. I went in with 27 WIPs. I wound up with a total of 29. But as we can see, most of those WIPs I started, or not most of, a good number of those WIPs I didn't start until 2022. So let's see, how many... The first 2022 WIP was number 22 of 2022. Oh my gosh, too many twos. So I carried 21 WIPs of the original 27 into 2023. So yeah, I had a net loss of 26 WIPs on the ones that I had brought into the year. And then I carried, what did I say? 21 to 29 is 8. So I started 8 new ones in 2022 that I'm still intend to work on. So that's not too bad. It's only a gain of 2. A gain of 2 WIPs. That's not so bad. So 29 WIPs carrying into 2023, and I've started a new one. So this is my first new start of the year. It most certainly will not be the last because this is me we're talking about. So this is another ink circles. This is Hamsa Mandala. And the reason I have only stitched half of this hand is because this is because this is my piece for a fun thing that Michelle is hosting, Bendy Stitchy. She is hosting a round robin for ink circles, an ink circles round robin, because a lot of us agreed that we love the ink circles charts, those that have the reflections in the four corners. We love the charts. They're so gorgeous, but we also agreed that the idea of stitching that corner piece 4 times seems really like a lot, and a lot of us didn't really want to do that. So she decided to set up and organize this round robin where each of us stitches a quarter of the design that we really want to have to own. We stitch the first quarter and then we pass it on to each of 4 other group members who will stitch the other 3 quarters. And so at the end, we will get back a finished piece and we will have only had to stitch the 1 quarter instead of stitching it 4 times. And we'll get to stitch a quarter of 3 other designs as well. So this is the beginning of mine. Excuse me. I have completely color converted it, changed the colors completely. It's originally, in fact, I can show you, maybe, no, I can't, it's put away. So this was originally designed in shades of green and teal, and I have converted it to pinks and purples, and I forget, this is some kind of purple fabric from somewhere. It's a 32 count linen. I can't remember where I got it, but it's a 32 count linen, and yeah, I'm loving it so far, and I'm already like 8% of the 25% that I need to do. So that's super awesome. So yeah, that's my first start for the new year. I'm sure there will be I'm sure there will be more. But as I said, the idea will be to finish a few of these. And so that ultimately I don't have, I have net 0 new WIPs for the end of the year. We'll see how that goes. A lot of the pieces that I have now are very large pieces. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be a fun challenge and we'll do it together, right? So on that note, I don't think I'm using WIP Go to help me with WIPs this year. I'm going to be doing other things and other types of stitching. So WIP Go is probably not going to be a thing unless I decide to do the Quirky Quaker WIP Go that I hear some folks talking about, which is a fantastic idea. So I might join in on that, but otherwise I'm not going to do the regular WIP Go this year just because it's not working for how I want to do things this year. I love WIP Go. It worked for me so well last year up until about halfway through the year when the wheels fell off. But that's not WIP Go's fault. That's me. So this year I'm just going to keep it looser. I'm going to do sweewee, stitch what I want when I want, that kind of thing. But yeah, so that's what I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that I hope that you had a snack because wow. I'm going to go ahead and go. Loki's trying to get into trouble again. Pizza's going to be here very soon. So yeah, it's time for me to go. Thank you all so much. And remember what I always say, make sure to stay hydrated, make sure to take all your meds, and remember that you are enough. I will see you again soon.